Read Junk.
Read Junk. Read Junk
Podcast.
ReadJunk Podcast with your host, my guy.
Hey everyone, it's the first podcast of 2020. It's been an interesting few months for me, to say the least. I've been in the hospital, got the holidays. I saw The Addicts for the first time last week. I have a review and photos of the show on ReadJunk.com if you want to check that out. But in a nutshell, they were awesome. So much fun. Great band to take pictures of. The first episode of the year is our ReadJunk Oscar preview with co-creator of Read and ReadJunk, Adam Coozer. Usually Adam and I write up our snap judgments of the movies and give snarky remarks in an article. I figured I would have Adam on the podcast for the first time and we'll just talk about it instead of writing it up. So we talk about the Oscar nominations and just shoot the shit a little bit. Of course, Adam brings up Rush a few times and pays tribute to Neil. This episode is kind of long, but congrats if you make it to the end. It's a fun episode though, if you like two people just talking about movies. Before we get started, make sure to tell everyone about the podcast and subscribe and download at Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you just get a podcast episodes. You can also just listen to the episodes on ReadJunk.com as well. So let's go. Here's Adam Coozer and I talking the Oscars. Hey, I'm here with my buddy Adam, who you might know from ReadJunk, Read Mag, longtime friend, but first time guest on the ReadJunk podcast. And today we're going to be talking about Oscars, and I'm sure Rush.
Of course.
I'll allow three mentions of Rush. I'll have a little timer for every time you mention Rush.
Be careful not to rush into it.
Yeah. I don't know any references to do Rush.
You will by the end of this conversation about the Oscars, right? We're talking about movies that we either saw or didn't see but have an opinion on. Well,
for the last several years, we've been doing a list and kind of doing like snap judgments of what we used to do back in the Read days, and we just kind of give our little snarky, wise ass remarks of just kind of based on the titles, but we can do some of that. We can just go into more in depth of our feelings on just the Oscars, because the Oscars is happening in like 2 weeks or so. So I figured this would be a good time to talk about that and get me back.
The timing is great.
Yeah,
great
sure.
Timing. It's good we didn't do this in the middle of the year because some of these movies would not have been out yet.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen most of them, some of them, not all of them. But I definitely have a favorite of what I like to see win. But so
you're admitting
what
to being biased is what I'm hearing. You're really bringing your full self into this.
This is the first time in like a couple of years though that I feel like it's like a sports team. I'm really rooting for this movie to win, and that's 1917. Oh. Right. I like 1917. What I like about it is that the name of the movie is a year, not unlike 2112. Seminal album and song by Canadian power rock trio Rush. Ding! Yeah, okay. That's one. So have you seen 1917?
I have.
Yeah. So what are your feelings on it? Because I thought it was just... I was blown away by it.
Okay. Blown away? Is that a pun?
No,
because
it's not like... No, it's not like a guy. I was completely running during the entire movie. Okay. So, well, actually, why don't you start? Tell me what you liked about it. The way I love Sam Mendes movies, Roger Deakins, and then Thomas Newman, the score was really powerful. I like war movies. It's a very simple story of getting from point A to B, very limited characters. And then just the way it was shot. I mean, if anything, if it doesn't deserve Best Picture, it definitely needs Sam Mendes for director and then Roger Deakins for cinematography, because the way they shot it felt like the first hour was one take, but it was really several takes, but it was like 8-minute long takes that they just kind of spliced flawlessly together.
Well, you know what award they won't win? Best film editing.
Well, they're not nominated for it.
There are no edits.
Although when everyone was joking,
one tracking shot, there are no edits. How could they even be nominated if they are?
They aren't. Idea. Yeah, they actually aren't nominated, and that was kind of people like, well, that's the running joke of it. It's like, well, the person editor is like, this shit's easy.
Right. But it just goes to show how no one pays attention to best editing. I don't even know who's nominated for that.
It's like editing, sound mixing. Why can't we mix the two and have something different?
Isn't there artificial intelligence and algorithms that just do that now? I mean, is there really someone behind a soundboard putting things in the mix?
This sounds terrible.
How can you do that? Give that man an award.
It's like a robot that does, this needs more editing.
It's the future. I mean, movies are not going to be exempt from the pace of technology. I mean, look at Avatar. That movie should have been nominated for best animated film.
In a way, yeah. Was it? No, I don't even think it was. I think if it was released now, I think it would have been, because I think it's like with comic movies and Star Wars, I feel like people are more accepted to it. Maybe not Martin Scorsese, but I feel like just Joker got the most nominations this time. It's not necessarily a comic book movie. It's more about this guy going from being mentally deranged and just going descent into madness, and just people treating him like shit. Have you seen the Joker?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So which is Jersey City was my old stomping grounds, was filmed there. The City Hall and then Glow's Theater, I think, was those.
Well, you know what they say, if you want to depict New York City in the 1970s during a garbage strike, film in Jersey.
Yeah, Newark and Jersey City, yeah. We're something grimy and...
No offense to you Jerseyites out there. I really don't want any hate mail. Well, not that you're literate, but
I just saw the animated reboot of Adam's Family, and that was one of the first jokes. Like, let's go somewhere corrupt and no one wants to live, and it's assigned New Jersey.
Adam's Family. That's not nice. Nice.
It was funny. I know. I like the movie. So how do you want to do this? Do you want to start? Do you want to start with Best Picture, or you want to start all the way at the bottom and go through all the junky shit first?
Bryan, I follow your lead. You are our fearless leader.
All right.
Now I think it's a good idea that we have a run of show, that we give the listener an idea of what to expect. They are going to be with us, I imagine, for the next hour on this journey as we discuss our opinions from people they don't really know about movies we've barely seen. So I think it's important that we set the stage for them. So paint a picture, Bryan.
We are not experts. We are just wise-ass people on the internet that we've been doing this for over 23 years.
Well, don't age me. I mean, there could have been some young ladies on listening to my melodic baritone and wondering, oh, he must be 18.
Like, oh, he sounds like he's from NPR. Now,
so get your toe tag.
Of the overall list, it seems like The Joker got the most nominations. 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, The Irishman, which I've only watched the first hour of. Was there any, going over the list, is there anything that stood out that you think that should have been nominated that wasn't?
Okay, so we're starting with the question about snubs. I thought that we would probably end the conversation with snubs.
Or we could do it based on each category, I guess.
That's the juicy question that I think the listeners would want to know.
Let's do that through each category. We can say who think we. All right, let's start with Best Picture. So we got Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. So those are like which I think, Yeah, I can't see the Joker winning. I think like Joaquin Phoenix deserves the actor award for it, but and some other awards, but I feel like it's not the movie that is going to clean house. I feel like the Oscars is going to split a lot of the votes, and a lot of good people pick a bunch of all those movies that are going to win. So I don't think there's going to be a clear front runner.
Okay,
for Best Picture.
First, first kudos to the Academy for their restraint of only having 9 Best Pictures as opposed to. I think they could have a maximum of 10. I remember the good old days when it was just 5. And
more and more movies are coming out, though.
Shot.
Well, more and more movies are coming out, so I feel like they should do this for all the categories, to have a bunch of, because there's so much content and so much stuff out there that they need to have more, and so that way no one's snubbed. It's kind of like almost like everyone wins culture kind of thing. But as like at least you're nominated, but you didn't win, and gives people more choices.
Do you think the expansion of the number, the allotment, do you think that was to just like spread the goodwill around, or, and I'm very cynical, do you think it's about the industry, right? It's about let's get more stuff to say that it was nominated, and then more people will go and see it, and then you get more people in the theater.
I honestly,
or maybe I'm being very cynical.
I honestly think it was. I think it was to get more popular movies in there and put them in the Best Picture. Like last year, there was a whole controversy about them doing a most popular movie or something, and everyone poo-pooed that, and that category went away. So I feel like in a way, like once like The Dark Knight came out, like they kind of expanded these movies to include more not artsy fartsy, Chris Campbell shout out kind of movies.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's, not to get too philosophical here, but what do we mean by Best Picture? I mean, is it the best crafted film? Is it the most enjoyable film to watch? Like Joker, I think is a good film, but it's not really fun to watch, right?
No,
like I
was depressed.
See it again. It aged me, and
I'm like, I need to listen to some happy music. All right, here's some ska.
I made some donations to some mental health facilities. Like that movie was a gut punch, right?
Yeah.
And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I haven't seen it yet because I haven't found the time, because the movie's like 16 hours long and it's just people having conversations. So I'm sure that's not going to be something I would want to. That's why it's called Once Upon a Time. You're probably only going to want to see it once. The Irishman, that's another one. That's Irishman,
another long one.
Robert De Niro isn't the only one aging years during this movie. I mean, it's everyone who's watching it is just sort of slowly dying and feeling the time slip away like sands of the hourglass. So what was the question?
Best Picture here.
So Best Picture. So, is it like this is the, this is capturing a moment in time? Like this is what people will think of when they think of 2019. Is that the purpose? And who are we to judge? Who are we to judge who the best?
Well, it's funny. It's like the Best Picture, half the time you don't even remember who won last year. I think it was Green Book, last year. I mean, right, I know.
Which was hot garbage, which was hot racist garbage.
And then the year before that was Splash 2, Shape of Water. And
right.
The fish fucking movie. Yeah.
That was an interesting one. I like the fish movie.
I didn't like it. I thought,
but the movie before, the winner before that was Moonlight, which was excellent. Like I would put Moonlight as one of the best films of the decade. And when they first said that La La Land won, part of me died, and I was like, that movie is atrocious. But it seemed like such an Oscar winner. Like this is what people like, this feel-good movie about entertainment and Hollywood and the film industry. That's probably why Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was nominated, right? Because it's a movie about Hollywood. It's about, I haven't seen it, but it seems to be, the sort of the fall of innocence of Hollywood right before the
turn in the 70s. Yeah.
Murders, right?
so I saw Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I debated Ray about it. I mean, it's kind of similar in Inglourious Bastards, where it's kind of some things are true, some aren't. The way that Quentin likes to tell his movies, and it kind of put a bad taste in my mouth. The way that I guess you have to go in knowing that it's fictionalized, but a lot of it's.
Sorry, I have to interrupt.
Yeah.
So your issue with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood
is that
right there in the title, it's like a fable, right? Once Upon a Time.
Yeah, but I don't know.
You were upset that it wasn't historically accurate?
And it's just the way, it's like, I like the way it ended, but it just was like, I'm like, that didn't happen. That's, but you can say that for any movie. I don't know. Right. I liked parts of it. Maybe I'd have to watch it again. And then once I know what I'm seeing, but I was thinking it was going to be more true, I guess.
Well, Bryan, this was not nominated in the documentary category.
No, it's not.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure you knew that. Let's go back to talking about 1917.
Sure, let's go for it, because we both saw it.
Okay.
Let's try not to do too much spoilers, though, because some people haven't seen it. So let's try to be kind of vague with certain things.
Oh, I was going to say that the Allies won.
Oh, fucking asshole.
We defeated the Germans that time. So there's an interesting debate going on around whether the one shot, tracking shot method of the movie, whether it helped tell the story or whether it detracted and it was just sort of a novelty. It sounds like you feel that it added to the story.
Oh, yeah, because you felt like you were there, and you just felt like it was like whenever you're like the camera would turn, and then you're like, oh shit, someone's there, kind of thing. It was like you were seeing it happening as they were seeing it happening, and that's what I thought was what is good with war. Just war movies in general. Like I'm glad it was more on a steady cam and not the shaky cam like you see in Saving Private Ryan and Band of Brothers and things.
Right. I'm of mixed feeling.
Yeah.
I liked it, but I also felt that, how do I put it? So I feel that they did want Sam Mendes wanted to elicit that feeling of that you're like kind of a third soldier following them along. But the way I feel about one shot, one tracking kind of movies is that it really has to hold your attention and have a lot of action. Things like Gravity. I don't know if Gravity was like one shot, but it kind of felt that way, right?
No.
It was not one shot, but it had that feeling of just being propelled, like you're just constantly being propelled forward. Whereas 1917, I liked it actually when they were in the trenches and they're, walking through the trenches and they're going around corners and you're really getting a sense of the sort of boredom and, hunger and disease of what went on during World War I, but
like the cynicism too. Like, fine, go ahead. Kind of.
Yeah. I mean, I appreciate all that, but after a while, it did get a little part of me was like, okay, let's move this along, and the fact that it was quote unquote in real time, but it's like, all right, I don't need to hear them like have some very mundane conversation or eat half of a sandwich. I like that. I like that it was immersive, but I would have appreciated a bit more kind of bending of reality to allow a bit more escapism for it to be more engaging on a fun level. Obviously, the point isn't for the viewer to have fun, but to understand the meaningless of World War I, which was completely meaningless, and appreciate the just, this was like people hanging out in trenches for months, bored out of their mind and starving.
Yeah, but they weren't there constantly. They were moving through the trenches to see that, but they went to other places after they went through no man's land.
Right. But World War One was basically like hang out in these trenches for months until you have to run into machine gun fire. and that was World War One. It was like just the most pointless, churning bloodbath that there was. But I think that it was successful in that coming across. But and there were some very vivid moments of the movie. For instance, when he wakes up in that bombed out village and
sees the French woman.
Yeah, right. No spoilers, but the sort of the palette of the movie changes, and it's like the whole world is on fire. And I found that very striking and moving, and that was definitely one of my takeaways. I'll stop there. I'll let you talk.
So what you're saying is you wanted this Michael Bay to direct this and have like slow motion of helicopters and.
Yeah, absolutely. Even though helicopters didn't exist then, but I would have loved. I definitely would have loved a couple of Transformers to appear and blow shit up.
Just all of a sudden, like aliens pop out, like Life of Bryan, or.
And R.I.P. Terry Jones. It's been a sad year for Monty Python.
Yeah, him, Neil Innes. Yeah,
Neil Innes, the Ruddles. Yep.
Yeah, which I actually just saw that for the first time like last year, and then I've been like I love It Must Be You Must Be in Love, or whatever that song is. It Must Be in Love, or
oh my god,
that one.
How could you be in your 40s and just see the Ruddles now?
Because it's not available. I had to watch it like a bootleg of it on YouTube. There's no way to really watch it.
Oh, you had to go online to stream it. Yeah. Come on, Bryan.
I want to go get a Betamax.
I had it on VHS, but that's just me.
But yeah, so it's okay. But what's downers aside?
Yes.
So who do you think is going to win Best Picture? Because we have a lot more categories to go, so we're only got some. Let's move it up a little faster here. All
right, I hear you. I'm getting the marching orders. I got to move this up.
So you think?
I apologize to our listeners who really wanted to hear me expound philosophically.
I haven't seen Parasite yet, but I requested. I think I'm getting it for review, so I'm going to read that movie soon.
Dude, just rent it. It's on like Amazon Prime.
Why do I need to rent things? I can get it for free. Why do you think I have a website for still?
I mean, okay. All right. I'm putting that aside.
Yeah.
I watched Parasite. Parasite's very good.
Do you think that should be a Best Picture, or just foreign? I think it's up for international. I think they're calling it now, not foreign.
I liked Parasite. I don't know if it is, worthy of an Oscar-winning picture. But then again, what is, because I mean, Green Book. Come on.
I still haven't seen it.
It's a very good movie. It's a lot of fun to watch. The characters are very endearing. I love the writer-director. He does a lot of these movies where it tends to be families working together in some weird situation, and that loving family dynamic of kooky characters really comes through. And also the movie is a kind of a class satire, which is, very timely. So it's good. It's very good.
So is it a drama or like a dramedy or?
Yeah, it's a dramedy. Why not?
I know, because I was like, I remember seeing last year The Death of Stalin. I didn't like that one. I was just like,
Death of Stalin, I just couldn't really get into either.
Yeah,
but
I'm like, these are all piece of shit people. Like, I'm like, why am I supposed to be laughing at people getting shot in the streets?
Well, you have a very gentle heart, Bryan.
I do.
And I appreciate that about you. I know it's hard for you to find humor and, random executions.
Well, I guess
that's what I love about you.
Speaking of kind of something similar, I guess, which I haven't seen yet, but I figured it's kind of something along that realm is Jojo Rabbit. Have you seen Jojo Rabbit yet?
So amazingly, I have not, okay. Although I love the director. I've seen everything else that he does.
Mandalorian?
He single-handedly revived the Marvel movies, in my opinion. He's wonderful, and I can't wait to see the movie. I missed it in the theaters. It's not ready for rental yet, and I'm just really looking forward to it. I don't think it's going to win, but
he'll probably win for like screenplay or something, though.
Yeah, but I'm sure it's a great film.
All right, so I mean, as far as Best Picture, I think it's going to be between three movies. I think it'll be 1917, Irishman, or Joker. I don't think the other ones will have a chance.
So I think that the winner will probably be 1917 or possibly Marriage Story. And I'm hoping that it will be Marriage Story, because Marriage Story is it's a very classic story. It's been done before, Kramer versus Kramer. It has it reminded me of Annie Hall a little bit, not the humor, but the kind of bi-coastal element to it.
You mean the movie that beat out Star Wars for the Oscars?
Deservedly so. Deservedly so. If Annie Hall came out today, it would beat out any of these movies. So anyway,
yeah.
But Marriage Story, just terrific performances. 1917, I would say no one has talked about the acting of 1917. They talk about the historical accuracy, the direction, the sort of the feel of the film, but no one's said like, oh, that actor was incredible. In fact, nobody even knows their names.
Dean Chapman and George Mackay. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you got that right in front of you on the screen.
No, I know their names. Because the one, Gene Chapman, was in Game of Thrones as the king. What's his face? Baratheon, whatever.
King what's his face? Okay.
Yeah, and then he also played he actually was two characters in Game of Thrones. He was also a Lannister that got killed. And then
we're talking about the long moon-faced kid.
No, the one that was looking. He got the mission for his brother.
Well, the other one kind of looks like what's her name, Brienne of Tarth.
Oh yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he looks just like Brienne of Tarth.
I guess if you put it side by side, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were some Game of Thrones people in that movie too.
He could definitely be from Tarth.
But especially like the scene that's always in the trailer of him running at the end, I was like definitely getting a little bit weepy with it, with the music and just like the desperation of like running through, all the soldiers and stuff marching on and stuff.
Bryan, if there were some shadow puppets on the wall that was soundtrack to Hans Zimmer, you would cry. But that's why I love you. You have a very big heart, and I really appreciate you.
Unless you can see Hans Zimmer in concert, you have nothing to say, man. That was one of the best concerts.
Yeah, better than Kiss. Did he spit out fire?
It practically it was like a rock show in a way, because everyone's just like headbanging to like the Dark Knight score. So
I'll have to take your word for it.
No, but there's this one like really like celloist there, and she's like hair whipping. She does like metal videos and, as I call it, classical porn, and because she's like all dressed in sexy clothes and stuff on her YouTube
you're
channel.
Not telling me. Yeah, I mean, I will YouTube that for sure, but you're not telling me I'm seeing Hans Zimmer live. And you know who is the greatest live band of all time?
Is the Toasters?
No, try again. Who do you think I'm talking about?
Bush.
Last chance.
Crush?
Just say it. Bryan, say it.
Hush.
Okay, well, we're going to move on. I didn't want to say it because I only have two more references left. I'm hoping that you'll do some of them. Okay.
I'm going to add a bell into that for the references.
Okay, so no, you can't, because you were going to say it. I wasn't. So for Best Picture, probably 1917. I'm hoping that it'll be Marriage Story.
Okay. All right, let's go into lead actor. We got Antonio Banderas, Leo, Adam Driver, Joaquin, or Leaf, Jonathan Pryce. I think it's pretty at this point. At this point, I think it's Joaquin Phoenix or Leonardo for Once Upon a Time. That's my opinion.
I think that Joaquin was excellent. He was really, really excellent, and his performance really sticks with you. I still hear his laugh when I try to go to sleep at night. It's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really good, Bryan. And you're freaking me out, but also turning me on. But I will say, having seen both movies, Adam Driver was better. Adam Driver was so good. I mean, just such a performance. Joaquin was great, but he is playing a very kind of unique, over the top character. Adam Driver is just playing a normal human being going through the worst moments of his life. Not like delusional, not even realizing that his marriage is dissolving, and trying to preserve, his relationship with his son. And, Scarlett Johansson's great too. And, Alan Alda was great, and Laura Dern. But Adam Driver he's
having a good year. Yeah.
He is, but I will say I also saw The Report.
Me too.
And The Report to me was so dry and boring, and I didn't even think he was that good in it. I was actually going to mention that. I thought it was the opposite. I thought he was excellent in that movie. The movie was really. I liked the movie a lot. I thought Annette Bening was very good, and she should have been nominated for something. But
true.
I don't blame Adam Driver for The Report. I think that they really tried to basically read from The Report, and that was the movie, and that's why it didn't really work for me. Yeah. But Adam Driver, and I'm not saying it because my name's Adam too, although that's part of it. If anyone's listening, hello, dear listener. If you're hearing my voice now, go see Marriage Story if you haven't yet, because Adam Driver is the best acting.
Well, it's on Netflix.
I might have ever seen.
It's on Netflix, though, right? I think.
Yeah, but every piece of garbage is on Netflix. I'm not going to.
No, but that was actually like a Netflix movie, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Yeah. So people don't need to go out; they can just sit on their ass and watch it at home.
Well, they could go to a friend's house and watch it. Smart Alec.
Hey man, let's have some brewskis and watch Marriage Story about divorce.
Oh, good point. Do not watch Marriage. There's a PSA from your friend Adam Coozer. Do not watch Marriage Story with your significant other.
All right.
Did you watch it with?
I haven't seen it. But
what?
I haven't seen that Marriage Story yet. No.
What? Seriously? But it's on Netflix, like you said.
I know, and
boot it up.
I've only seen the first hour of The Irishman because it's 3.5 hours long, and I have to wait for her to watch it with my wife because she wants to watch it. And
okay, well, Marriage Story, do not wait for your wife. Just watch it on her own. She should watch it on her own. Okay. And then afterward, have like a gentle cuddling session with some hot cocoa. And don't talk about the movie. Just hold each other. Hold each other tight.
Go. Here's a list of things.
Then hold your child tight. Never let go.
Okay. All right. We're going to quickly move on to lead actress.
Okay.
We got Scarlett Johansson, Marriage Story. Cynthia something from Harriet. Saoirse Ronan from Little Women. My wife saw that. She liked that.
Wait. Bryan.
Yes.
Say the people's real name. Cynthia Erivo.
What? Cynthia Erivo? I don't know how to pronounce it.
Oh, but don't don't just show people of color respect, Bryan.
It's me not knowing how to speak the English language.
Okay.
Charlize Theron.
I'm a white ally.
For Judy. I haven't seen Harriet. Is that about Harriet Tubman?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh. I actually haven't seen any of these movies.
I know that I'm being a bit woke, but I have not seen Harriet yet.
I haven't seen any of these movies yet. I did request Bombshell, but I have a feeling it's going to be. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who it's going to be. It could be Judy. It could be Renee Zellweger. Yeah, I really don't know for that category.
Have you seen any of these movies, Bryan?
No, I haven't. I just said no.
Okay.
I want to watch Bombshell, and I'm supposed to be getting that to review at some point. I guess I'll watch Marriage Story soon. Maybe this week. Maybe I'll watch it when I'm feeling down in the dumps.
I'll be honest. No, you should not watch Marriage Story when you're down the dumps. You need to fortify your ability to watch that kind of movie. I actually haven't seen any of the other movies.
Yeah.
I've heard that Little Women's very, very good, but part of me is boycotting it because, how many Little Women movies do we need? I feel like one just came out a couple of years ago, and then you had the one in the mid-90s with like Claire Danes and what's her face and so on and so forth.
But this one was directed by a female, so maybe it's got more. I don't know. I can go yell at my wife to come in and she can talk about the movie, but
maybe she should.
But then Connor would show up too and want to talk about dinosaurs and Star Wars or something.
And maybe he should. But it's interesting that there are, this is another sort of Oscar so white kind of year because
it is, yeah.
You have Cynthia Erivo for Harriet
and Antonio Banderas.
Yeah, well, yeah. Antonio Banderas. You have Joaquin Phoenix. He's wearing a lot of makeup, but that doesn't really count. He's wearing blue and red.
The director of Parasite.
Charlize Theron technically is African. She's South African. But,
true.
But she's, this is for a role of like the whitest person on the planet because she's Megyn Kelly, right?
Well, and that's what I'm going back to with my thing of that they should expand the categories to add more people, and maybe it wouldn't be so white and very,
Well, yeah, if best movie could be 10 options, why can't?
Yeah, like lead actors. It's like, but then at that point, it's like, it's gonna be like Adam Sandler and other people or Oscar-nominated people. And
well, that's an interesting point. I haven't seen Uncut Gems yet. I've heard great things about it. I've heard that Adam Sandler is a reveation, but I can imagine the Academy's like, come on, seriously, Adam Sandler? Like, are we like cheapening this thing?
Yeah, where's Kevin James' Oscar nomination?
Billy Madison, right?
Paul Blart 3.
But which I think is very elitist of the Academy, because if Adam Sandler did have this incredible performance, why not honor somebody? Or is it that like the benchmark is, or not the benchmark, but the measuring stick is so low for him that, that any good performance would seem great? I don't know. I haven't seen the movie, but it's an interesting question about what's the motivations of the Academy for even nominating the people that we're discussing.
And it's kind of like what we said, we used to talk about for years, like how Harvey Weinstein and all like those guys used to just like
they would buy the nomination,
and like Shakespeare in Love and all these like movies, and like they would just kind of like, in a way, it's the same of like very political in a way of campaigning to be, there would be more like Robert Downey Jr. would be nominated if he actually gave a shit, and he doesn't. And it's like for Avengers, and because like that was a good performance in both those two movies and all those movies. So it's like, what bar is it? Is it only the movies that don't make any money get nominated kind of thing? So it's.
But I feel that there's been a adjustment to that, and if you look at these nominees, it's very refreshing. But also, I haven't seen these movies, so I haven't seen The Two Popes yet, and that also I think is a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
I have Pain and Glory. I never heard of that, Antonio Banderas' film. I didn't even know that existed until I saw that he was nominated. I have no idea what that's about.
Yeah.
Judy, same thing. Renee Zellweger. Renee Zellweger, I mean, didn't she win for Cold Mountain? And she was awful in that, like horrible. And she doesn't strike me ever as a good actor. But, you know, she's in this movie, Judy. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's about Judge Judy. I have no idea. But she's nominated. So the fact that
Judy Garland. Another movie about Judy Garland.
Oh, it's about Judy Garland.
Another one, yeah.
Okay. Well, good for her. You know, this is obviously a movie that nobody cared to see. Nobody wanted it. I don't recall anyone saying, I really want a Judy Garland biopic. But she was nominated, so maybe she's really good. Who are we to say? We can't judge. We didn't see this crap.
Judge Judy. All right, let's go to supporting actor. You got Tom Hanks.
No, let's not, because supporting. I don't agree with the supporting role category.
Okay, the actor that's not the lead.
No, but like, why does this exist as a category? It's kind of like, you know, like, why don't we have best cameo or what would be a better category would be best ensemble. Well, like best ensemble.
Oh, they have that for the SAG
casting.
Awards. Yeah, SAG Awards. They have that.
Oh, really?
Well, they have best ensemble cast and.
Oh, well, they took my idea.
Yeah, you should go sue them.
I should. Stupid
but anyway, let's talk.
Called the SAGgy.
But so going back to supporting actor, even though you don't like the category, I think Brad Pitt is nominated and he'll probably win for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was my favorite part of that movie, and Leonardo was good, but it just in a way kind of just felt like Brad Pitt, just with like sometimes a bad wig on his hair, but.
So why is Brad Pitt best supporting role if the entire movie is him and Leonardo DiCaprio driving around in a car and having skirmishes with Bruce Lee?
They were actually kind of separate a lot of the time. So he was kind of like Leonardo was the main actor that was kind of getting passed over because he was getting older and kind of thing, and he was the stunt double. So he was kind of had the side story and then interacting with the Manson family a little bit. That's all giveaway as far as like plot, I guess. But yeah, so like it was kind of like he wasn't the main, but I can see your point of why was he not a lead actor too. But then Leonardo is a lead actor. I mean, they're both lead actors, so I don't know. It's just, and that's going back to the politics of it. Is we'll put him in this category because he might have a better chance of winning. It's the same thing of why is Tom Hanks a supporting actor? Even though I haven't seen Beautiful Day in the Neighborhood, I have a feeling he's not the main character, even though it's about Mr. Rogers, but it feels like it's about the journalist that interviewed him.
Do you get a sense that people don't know what to do with Tom Hanks anymore? It's like, like...
What do you mean? He's like my favorite actors.
Yeah, but you're always watching Tom Hanks, Like, Tom Hanks will always play Tom Hanks.
I think he's finally going to play a villain, though. Oh, he did play a villain in that bad Lady Killers movie, the Coen Brothers movie. He played a villain. But I guess he's going to play another villain just to switch it up, I think he said soon. But
I kind of feel like this nomination was because people don't know if Tom Hanks will ever be nominated again.
He's not going to win, but...
Meryl Streep, they find roles for her. Any movie that requires, an old white lady. She's the new Dame, Judi Dench.
Well, they probably have like a dartboard or like a Price is Right kind of spinning kind of wheel thing where they kind of the same couple actors like, all right, we haven't nominated this person in a couple of years. Like, okay, it's Tom Hanks.
Right.
I mean, I haven't seen the movie, but. And then it's like all the Irishman actors were nominated, which, yeah, sure. You can kind of tell that they got CGI'd faced for the movie from the parts that I've seen so far. Joe
Pesci was very good in The Irishman.
Yeah.
He was very good.
I got to finish that without Kristen.
I think he should win. I hope that he wins, even though I didn't see any of these other movies, because, Al Pacino playing... what's his face, Hoffa.
Yeah.
It still felt like you're watching Al Pacino.
Yeah.
It's just Al Pacino, but he's playing Hoffa.
Jimmy Hoffa.
Pesci really felt like a real human being, and I thought it was a good.
But that's
role.
the thing. It seems like almost like the Mafia trilogy of Goodfellas, Casino, and then this, of like all those guys in the same movies.
Yeah, what's up with Martin Scorsese? I mean, like, why is he obsessed with this crap? Who cares?
There's only so many mobster movies.
I mean,
no, I enjoy them. But all right. So I think it'll be Brad Pitt that will win. I can't see anyone else winning. Maybe Al Pacino. Everyone said they liked his performance in that, but supporting actress got Kathy Bates and Richard Jewell, which I haven't seen.
Never heard of.
Clint Eastwood.
Kathy Bates, great actress.
Clint Eastwood directed a guy that was, the supposed person that did the bombing at the Olympics back in the 90s.
Clint Eastwood is still alive?
Yeah, I think he's like 80-something. 88, I don't know.
A skeleton at this point, right?
Got Laura Dern, Marriage Story.
Just like tan leather stretched over a bony frame.
Gotta argue at a chair.
For best special effects that he's still alive. Oh my God. Okay. Sorry, go.
No, I watched the movie he was in last year with the mule. I kind of liked that movie. Where he was like this old man smuggling drugs for these guys, driving it up from like Illinois to Mexico, and it was like he was the mule. So it was a good movie. I liked it. So who else we got? We got Scarlett Johansson again for Jojo Rabbit, Florence Pugh from Little Women. See, Margot Robbie, Bombshell. I like Margot Robbie, but the upcoming movie where she's Harley Quinn just looks terrible. The Birds of Prey movie. Have you?
Well,
yeah.
I mean, did you see that really terrible Suicide Squad?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Margot Robbie. The fact, I did not see Bombshell, so apologies to Bombshell fans who are listening right now. But I've seen Margot Robbie in Suicide Squad, and all I can think of is if the Academy didn't nominate Adam Sandler because they don't take him seriously, then how did Margot Robbie become part of the stable here? Doesn't make sense. Because of Suicide Squad. Anyone who was attached to Suicide Squad should never be taken seriously ever again.
I'm hoping with James Gunn doing the reboot that it's redeemed in a way, because I like the idea, but it just wasn't executed properly. It was like shoving all the music in your face and like for.
No, they shouldn't reboot it. What they should do is find every
working on it,
burn it, and then get one of those little sticks that they have in Men in Black and just wipe all of our memories of it.
I think that's
which is apropos because Will Smith was in both movies. So Will Smith must actually own that technology and maybe make us forget about that movie. And he was the only good thing about
he was.
Suicide
I was just about to mention that, yeah.
And he wasn't even that great. Like, he tried his best. Well, and I wouldn't say he tried his best. He showed up, right?
Yeah.
But I think midway through he knew what garbage it was, and he's like, all right, look, I'm just going to collect this paycheck and let's never speak of this again. So, I don't blame Will Smith for Suicide Squad.
But I guess he's not going to be in the new one, but she is. So it's kind of weird that it's kind of like a reboot, but mostly new casts. James Gunn's directing, which I have faith in, so we'll see what happens.
If there's any positive about the new Joker movie is that
we don't need to see Jared Leto.
Yes,
it was terrible.
It really highlights just what a horrible Joker Jared Leto was. And, the funny thing is that Jared Leto, went method for his Joker. And he was, a total dick. And he was,
sending, dead animals and stuff. Fuck you, dude.
Yeah. He was sending, used condoms to his female coworkers. That's ever appropriate, No, it's okay. I'm sexually assaulting you, but it's method. It's method.
This is what the Joker would have done.
It's like, fuck you very much. And and all of that, and it was still like the worst shit I've ever seen in my life, and it made me so embarrassed for him, for the movie, for myself, for our generation, for society, for humanity.
I saw that shit in the movie theater. God, that was terrible.
Oh, you paid money.
Cheap money, because I only go to the matinees.
Wow, still though, that's $6 that you could have spent on a Cliff Bar.
Yeah.
Man, I'm so sorry.
All right, let's talk about directors.
All right, I see you looking at the clock. Supporting role for an actress.
Right,
Florence Pugh. I'm going to go with her because she was very good in Midsummer. Midsummer was a really good film. It was not nominated for anything. So, I would say that they're being nominated adjacent through this nomination.
I have no idea who will win, so I will say Laura Dern.
Laura Dern was pretty good as like a cutthroat LA divorce lawyer, but it was also a little bit of a caricature. And I do love me some Laura Dern. Laura Dern is one of my favorite people.
All right.
I don't know her personally. I don't know if she'd reciprocate, but I love her.
All right.
I love you, Laura.
Let's
return my calls.
Talk about director Marty, Todd, Sam, Quentin, and I don't even know how to say this guy's name.
It's Joon-ho Bang.
Is that how you say it?
Well, yeah. So typically the Korean format is last name first.
Oh,
so it's Joon-ho Bang. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should probably travel a little bit, Bryan. Maybe
I did travel, just not to the Far East.
I think you need to experience the world a little bit.
I would like to go to like the Disney worlds and like China and all those because they have different rides.
Yeah, just go to Epcot Center. Go to Epcot Center in each of those countries.
I did go to those. I went to Japan and Epcot in September.
It's a small world after all, Bryan. You're really proving that.
Yeah, but I think it's a given. I think Sam Mendes is going to win director. That's what I think. But it could be Quentin, though. What's the matter?
We don't have to pause the recording, but I want to take the temperature of the room a little bit.
Okay.
So we've been talking for an hour.
Yeah.
How do you feel this is going?
It's good. This is how all my other conversations go with Ray and Joe, and then we just shoot the shit talking about movies.
This isn't about Ray and Joe. This is about me and you.
This is fine.
Be honest.
This is a good episode. That's fine.
You feel okay?
Yeah.
You sound a little defensive.
I'm not defensive. I'm going to post it.
That's what a defensive person would say.
What are you trying to say? No, it's.
I want to make sure that I am, that I am bearing a standard here, and that I'm, rising up to the challenge and giving you and your.
There is no standards for the ReadJunk Podcast. We just post whatever the fuck I could do. So I said a naughty word.
Okay.
No, it's just I want to shoot the shit with my friends, talking about movies, and then occasionally I'll interview people. Hopefully, not get harassed and bullied of who I can't interview from bands.
Well, I appreciate you calling me a friend.
Yeah.
I never thought of us that way, but now that you say it,
yeah,
I can live with that. So thank you.
I'm not going to cut this out. We're going to leave it in.
Okay, back to
director. Who do you think is going to win for director?
I don't care.
All right, so that's your answer. I don't care. Animated feature: How to Train Your Dragon: The Hidden World. I've seen the movie. I like that one, but I can't stand the actor's name. With those Jay Baruchel. Like his voice is just like nails on a chalkboard, and they had
because he's Jewish.
No,
your racism is
because he's Canadian. I don't know. No, he's
very Jewy.
No, it's not.
It's part of my tribe.
It's not that. He's got a whiny voice. It's like
because
me. It's like me, guys. Hey guys, and
that sounds very Jewish, and I don't.
I'm not Jewish.
The mimicry, the very good mimicry, but I don't appreciate it.
Toy Story 4, which. I didn't like that either. I mean, I love the first 3 Toy Stories, but I didn't like that one as much.
So here's the thing. I don't have a child, so I don't watch a lot of animated films. But at the same time, I know that you probably watched all of these without your child because I know that you love animated
I actually
films.
took Connor to go see Toy Story 4. That was his first movie that he saw in the movie theater.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, so we sat through most of it. Yeah.
Why don't we bring him in here and ask him what his favorite animated movie is?
No, I don't want him in the podcast because then he just won't leave.
That'd be really cute, though. I defer to your child.
He's probably watching TV right now.
I Lost My Body, I heard, is very good. I want to see it. It's on my, to watch list.
Klaus.
Toy Story 4, I couldn't, even though I'm a grown-ass adult and I know that it's a children's movie, I didn't know what the fuck was going on.
I knew what was going
just so
on.
all over the place. And they kept going back to the same places. They kept going back to that antique store. It's did you guys run out of money or something?
No, it felt like it's about Woody's journey and his conclusion to that story. But it's just I wanted him to be with Buzz and all those guys a lot more. And it just felt like something different. It felt like a side movie in a way.
What more could be said about, these toys and their relationships with children? It's getting kind of creepy at this point.
Toy Story 5, and it's they're used for sexual things.
Yeah,
the things that Duke Kaboom have seen.
There are things I can say, but I don't know who's listening.
That's fine. You can say whatever.
Sex Toy Story 5.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, we're not going to talk about this. The different orifices that they find themselves in. Especially that Slinky dog. That Slinky dog, he could do some crazy, disgusting things.
How about a rim job? I rode the Slinky dog ride on at Disney World, so I would do his voice all the time.
You have many hidden talents, my friend.
Animated short. This is the one that we never know because we never see. So it's
skip. Nobody cares.
All right, we're gonna guess just based on the name. I think Hair Love's gonna win.
I'm not seeing the list. I don't care. I don't know. I don't see it. It doesn't matter.
Adapted screenplay. We got Irishman.
And by the way, I'm sorry for everyone who worked really hard on the animated short films. I appreciate and respect the time you put in. But who are you and who cares? All right.
Well, and that's another thing about Toy Story I didn't like. They didn't do an animated short before the movie. They did that for every other Pixar movie, but they didn't do it for that one.
I did not think of that at all.
Yeah, and usually the Pixar one's the one that usually won the animated shorts because those are usually good. But I don't know, for some reason they didn't do it because it's, as I can tell from firsthand knowledge, that it's hard to keep a kid in a seat for 3.5 hours, or not 3.5 hours. That's not the Irishman. For an hour and a half,
So there's an animated feature film called Klaus.
Yeah, and I think it's about Santa Claus, maybe.
That makes sense. I thought it was just about a weird German guy.
My name is Klaus.
My name is Klaus, and I like Sex Toy Story 5. I can't do accents. Sorry, everybody.
That's right.
But then again, neither can Robert De Niro. The Irishman, seriously. That's why they should lose. Come on.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, top of the morning to you.
Hey, yo, 1, 2, 3. I'm an Irishman.
Oh, he's like, yeah, what's the crack? Yeah.
Bada bing. Bada bing. Top of the morning.
All right.
Move on.
Animated screenplay: The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, Just Mercy, Little Woman, and The Two Popes. I think Jojo Rabbit. I think Taco will.
Wait, what are we on?
We're on adapted screenplay. We're getting towards the bottom here.
I'm on the. I don't see this crap at all. Wait, hold on. Let me look this up.
I don't know. I went through the list that I did through on ReadJunk, so that's kind of the order I'm going into.
Oh, I should probably go to your website.
Yeah, ReadJunk.com. Yeah, because when people are doing it, they kind of give a different list order. Sometimes the way that the list comes out, and I just copied someone else's list.
We should have prepared, Bryan.
I should have sent you the same list. Sorry about that. See, this is like I'm winging it. I'm like, I came home from the mall and food shopping, and I'm like, okay, let's do a podcast.
Oh, you must be really winded from going to the mall.
Kind of, yeah. We met the Avengers.
Okay, all right.
There was a Latino Captain America, and there was kind of a chubby Black Panther, and
all right, more racism, some fascism.
I'm describing the people what they look like. There was a skinny Spider-Man.
I would like the listener to know that while Bryan called me a friend, we're acquaintances. We're on LinkedIn. Okay, so Bryan, what are we on?
We're on adapted screenplay.
All right. Okay. Now, adapted from what exactly? Okay, so Irishman, based on the book.
It's a book or a play or whatever.
Jojo Rabbit is based on a novel? I thought Taika Waititi wrote the thing. Oh, I'm so disillusioned now.
Maybe it was a short story. I don't know. Okay.
Well, you know what's interesting? Best adapted screenplay. Now, for Joker, do you think that it's adapted from the comic books, or do you think it's adapted from Taxi Driver and King of Comedy?
Probably a mixture of all of the above.
Because that's the other issue I had with Joker is like...
I actually haven't seen those movies, so I can't really... I've never seen King of Comedy or Taxi Driver. Yeah, I know. I should just stop this podcast now and go and watch them. You can start talking now. Dead air.
Wow.
There's only so many movies I can watch. I mean, I'm home a lot, but are they available on Netflix or Amazon? I mean, I know I get at least for Taxi Driver, I kind of get the idea. I haven't really seen King of Comedy though.
Yeah, you
can start talking now. It's okay. It's you haven't seen every movie too.
Well, no, but I'm also not a self-professed reviewer of film, right? Like
I review movies, but it's not like I've seen every single one. I don't get paid for doing this.
You're not one of the certified fresh reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes.
No, I'm not one of those. I get free movies to review that I've been doing since high school, and one of the reasons why I still
they're gonna stop doing that at some point because
I'll just be streaming.
Well, yeah, I mean I can't believe you still own a device that plays a DVD.
Well, I have a Blu-ray, DVD, and now I have 4K, so I have a 4K player. And then, but I have a huge digital library of movies. I have over 1,000 movies on Vudu and Movies Anywhere and stuff. So
yeah, but I mean, are they good movies or are they like Dumb and Dumber?
I got both of them. I own a lot.
You mean both Dumb and Dumber movies? Yes. You just own 1,000 versions of Dumb and Dumber and Dumb and Dumberer.
No, right? It's Dumb and Dumber 2, which that one wasn't that good, but I still own it. And then get rid of it.
Okay, so do any of these best adapted screenplay nominees rise to the level of the first Dumb and Dumber?
Well, would that be? I would consider that original screenplay, wouldn't I?
Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah, screw these movies. Like, they're based on something. Yeah. Dumb and Dumber. That came from someone's head. That was an original thought.
Like,
okay, you're
Ten
right.
Commandments. Like, oh, it's adapted screenplay.
All right.
Now I'm insulting religious people.
Let's just say Little Women will win because
I will say Jojo Rabbit wins. Original screenplay. I saw Knives Out. That was a really good movie. I'm surprised that's his original screenplays. So Knives Out, Marriage Story, 1917, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite. It's a tough choice between these ones. I could see any of them winning.
Once Upon a Time will win because that won't win for anything else. So they'll just throw it a bone.
Yeah, maybe 1917 because he came up with that whole story based on his grandfather's telling him stories about World War I.
What story? There's no story. It's a couple of guys in the trenches in World War I.
Yeah, but that's what he told.
Based on the war.
But that's what he told. But he told stories about of World War One to his grandson.
It's two guys walking through.
But that's
trenches,
the story he told, and that's
and
what
then
he based it on a screenplay, and he did it on a screenplay. So it's an original screenplay based on the story that his grandfather told him.
I think that's kind of messed up that his grandfather was like dying on the deathbed, and Sam Mendes was like, "Oh yeah," so like writing it down. Yeah, tell me more. I'm gonna make a movie out of this.
Grandfather, tell me a funny story. I was in the ditches.
How's it original if it's adapted from his, grandfather's deathbed stories?
No, I think from what I've heard, it sounded like he didn't really tell Sam Mendes' dad about it, but he told his grandkids about what happened. So that's kind of where he got the idea of this.
Honestly, I don't care. I don't care about any of these movies.
I know,
I don't care
and this is what
awards. Why are we discussing rich people and them making more money?
We should be talking about Medicare for all. Now, this is just really supposed to be a Bernie sport.
If we want to talk about innovation, creativity, original thought, we should be discussing the lyrics and music of a band I hold very dear.
Misfits.
Band from Canada.
Great Big Sea.
What's that?
Great Big Sea. It's one of the most popular bands in Canada.
You and your lame music. Were they like a folk group?
They are,
ska group?
No, they're folk. From Newfoundland.
Well, let's move on. What else we got here? I have to pee. Let's wrap this up soon. I just drank a lot of soda.
We still have a lot of choices here. So why don't you go pee and then we'll come back and finish this up.
Okay, so I would like to give a shout out to our dedicated listeners who decided who chose to listen to us rather than a book on tape. I congratulate you and respect you for your choice. I mean, you could be educating yourself right now. You could be, quote unquote, reading works of literature. But instead, you're hearing about our thoughts about movies that nobody will even remember 5 years from now. Thank you. I'm going to go pee, and then we will return with the most exciting categories of the Oscars, like the best song
and the ones they do in the beginning of the
things
broadcast.
You don't pay attention. All the things you don't pay attention to when you watch a movie, like costume and that little violin in the background. Okay, I'm going to go pee.
All right,
we'll be right back.
Okay. And we're back.
Yes.
I was gonna say before you left to go pee that.
Are we recording right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
That I think whoever finishes this podcast episode and gets all the way to the end, they write to me and say that they finished the episode, and you will send them a Read Mag care package. Do you have any old zines and stuff?
I do not. But I will send them I will send them something. I don't know why you told me to do this, but I'd be happy to do it. But to ensure that
you still had Read Mag stuff.
Have listened to the end, we should have some sort of keyword or safe word or something at the end, right?
Okay. I still have Read 20th anniversary stickers I could send to somebody.
Nobody wants stickers. Come on. It's got to be something good.
I have a Praise the Goldblum sticker too.
Okay, that works.
All right. I will send someone a Praise the Goldblum if they write to me and say they have finished this episode. If they mention the word bloom.
What? What word?
Bloom, like Goldblum.
Oh, okay. Bloom. Okay. That sounds good.
B-L-U-M.
Blum.
Blum. Blum. Blum. Blum. Blum.
Making fun of Jewish people again, I see.
No, it's me not knowing how to pronounce words.
I have a bone to pick with you. So
Why?
In the first part of this podcast, you said that Jews have very squeaky, nasal voices. And
no, I said that particular actor does.
What's next? Fran Drescher?
Oh, I mean, she is kind of annoying.
Oh, 2 for 2. 2 for 2, Bryan.
It's like Lois from Family Guy, yeah.
All right, let's move on before you get yourself in trouble.
Yes, you never know. This is let's press on here and try to finish up all the shitty categories. Cinematography, I think. Let's not even do the nominations. We'll just say who we think is going to win. I think it's going to be Roger Deakins, 1917. The Lighthouse is really cool. Have you seen that movie?
I haven't. I really do want to see it.
I think you would like it.
It's really good.
It's really weird.
Love it.
It's really.
That's the arty farty kind of movie that you derided earlier. That I actually enjoy watching.
The way it was shot though was really cool though, because it's black and white and they do kind of like full framing of it, and they took out certain colors, so it's very like people's faces a lot more grainier. So I mean, I'm glad that it was nominated at least. I'm surprised William Dafoe wasn't nominated for it because he was really good in it, and Robert Pattinson was in it as well. He had kind of like a Boston accent. So I actually just made a T-shirt for that movie this weekend because there's this one line where he's like, "The goddamn farts." So I'm like, that line stuck with me. So that was a good movie.
So you were saying that they were amazing because they took out the color, and my question for you is, does that mean the movie was in black and white?
It was black and white, but it's the way it's kind of like they took out the red. I think a lot of it. So some of it, like it's
you know what black and white means, right?
Wait, what?
You know what black and white means, right?
Yes, but when you shoot certain, it's hard to describe. Watch the fucking behind the scenes.
So first we took out the green, and then we took out the blue, and then we took out the red.
It's when it's
orange.
So it's just when you have something gray, it's grayscale, black and white, and when you alter around the filters of when you're filming it in color,
contrast.
Yeah, the contrast of it. So it's some of it's the like the dark sky is darker, and so it's more things are more darker and whiter using different filters when you're filming it.
Don't you have a degree in art?
I do actually. I got 2.
Like, you know what colors are, right?
Yes, but I'm trying to explain it to you of how it works for the way that they shot it, because they're shooting it. The world isn't in black and white, but when you cut out certain colors, when you're shooting in black and white, some things are darker and some things are whiter if you cut out certain colors. So that's how they shot it.
Okay.
So like a shot of nighttime of the ocean, and you take out the red of the normal day, it looks darker, if that makes sense.
Okay, they kept the lens cap on. Got it.
Yeah, that's what it is. And then they had the same kind of lighthouse bell playing throughout the whole movie. It was like, that would drive me fucking insane too. So I guess you haven't really. Do you have any feelings about cinematography?
I don't even know what that is.
That's when they take the pictures and they make it all nice for the movie.
I don't know. You're the one with the art degree. You tell me.
But not in cinematography. Director of photography. Did the picture look nice?
They got one job to do, just like take the picture, make it look good. I mean, why we got to celebrate people for doing their jobs?
I could see it being an upset though for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, because you did have to make Los Angeles look, from the 60s again. So they had to make it.
That's not that hard. That's not really hard for Los Angeles though.
Yeah, just I guess remove certain things and.
Right.
Yeah.
They had a more yellow-orange palette. Got it.
Yeah, I guess. Best documentary feature. This is where we're like, yeah, we don't know what the hell any of this is.
So Bryan, let's veer off topic for a minute.
Okay, sure.
And talk about the things that people really want to know.
Rush.
So, well, yeah. I mean, and what do you think people want to know about Rush?
Well, I was sad to see that Neil passed away. So, I mean, how long was he not in the band for? Because he kind of left a couple years ago, right?
So the band is so Rush is the three of them. It's Geddy, Alex, and Neil. And after their last tour for Clockwork Angels, they, or maybe the last tour was the R40 40th anniversary, but they took a break. And 1 year after that tour, Neil Peart was diagnosed with brain cancer, which he kept secret or private, I should say. He was a very private individual. And he kept private for the last 3.5 years, which really speaks to the kind of person he was, because he had a lot of integrity and a lot of privacy, and he never would have wanted people to show pity toward him or to reach out to him in that way. He wanted to live and die with dignity, which he did. And it really is.
And probably didn't want pity, I guess. Like, oh, you got cancer. You probably didn't want to hear it. And you're just like, yeah, I'll live with it. Kind of.
Yeah, he was a very brilliant person. If you listen to any of the lyrics, he was the main lyricist of Rush since their second album onward. And I would say, people talk about Rush. They talk about the difficult time signatures that look like weird math equations. And they talk about, the 18-minute songs and the musical precision. But really the heart and soul of Rush were the lyrics. And there are a lot of songs and lyrics that are very based in fantasy and science fiction and literature. But, I would say from the early 80s onward, it was very much about the human condition and about what it means to be alive and to be human. And it's really, worth going back and listening to particularly their 80s and 90s output. And you really get a sense of who Neil was. And he was also a prolific author. He wrote 5 or 6 books based on his travels. He, while the rest of the band would fly or take a bus to different stops during the tour, first in the 80s, he began bicycle riding between stops, and then that moved over to a motorcycle. And then, after he had some tragic losses in his life, he would take these very long motorcycle journeys around the United States, down to Central America, down to South America. And he wrote about it. And the books are just about his thoughts and feelings. And for someone who was incredibly private, his mind was just a wonderful thing to behold. And it's almost this cruel irony that he would die of
brain
something
cancer.
that affected his brain, because that's really, his nickname in the band was the Professor, and you can definitely see why. So let us make this podcast a tribute to my hero since I was 12 years old, Neil Peart, someone who never wanted the fame or privilege of being in a rock band, unlike all other rock stars, and wanted to just respect others, have his privacy respected, and if anything, be respected for his intelligence. And let's continue to talk stupid bullshit in his honor about dumb movies that nobody will care about in 5 years.
Hey, you never know. That's what I wanted to hear out of if you were going to speak about Rush today. It was that a nice tribute to Neil. So there you have it. All right. So where the hell are we with as far as? Well, we could talk about documentaries. I don't know if I haven't seen any documentaries. I've only seen the ska documentary. I've seen the Godfathers of Hardcore documentary. So I haven't seen too many. Haven't seen so many documentaries.
Tell me about the ska documentary. I didn't see it.
It was good. It was. I mean, it focuses mainly on the West Coast for the most part, but they do give a lot of props to all the ska bands around the world. And then they have a lot of people featured in it who the director could interview at the time. But it's mainly about the rise and fall of ska in the 90s, of the popular ska. But they do talk about bands from the East Coast, West Coast. You know, they glance over a little bit of South America and Japan and like other countries and stuff as well. But yeah, I liked it a lot. And not that I'm not biased in the fact that I have photos in it, because I would have said otherwise if if the movie was shit, I would have said so. But no, I liked it. It brought me back to that time of the 90s of going to shows and like, I remember seeing those flyers. I remember seeing that and seeing stuff like that cheesy MTV thing that they had with Carson Daly, and like they showed parts of that. So I mean, it was a good like nostalgic trip to ska. So
did you cringe at all while watching it, or are you still firmly into the ska? I mean, I love ska, but I've definitely I like other things as well. I'm not strictly just ska. I like a lot of other things. Like what?
Like every other, like name something. Like I like.
No, you name something.
No, you. I like the Levelers. You've seen the Levelers. I've liked that band,
yeah.
and I like Celtic folk. I like reggae. Yeah. I like punk. I like classical film scores. There's lots of other heavy metal.
Right. Do you like anything cool?
Yeah, of course.
Like, like what should have won, I'm going to tie this back to the category. What should have won Best Documentary? Seriously, Beyonce's Homecoming.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
You should watch it. You should absolutely watch it. It should win Best Documentary, Best Music,
I do like a lot of music documentaries, though. So it's like that's the documentaries I usually watch are music documentaries.
Watch Homecoming and let me know what you think.
Maybe. I'm not really the biggest Beyonce fan, though.
You will be.
All right.
Will be. It's excellent.
All right, so we'll skip over documentary short subject because I don't know. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know. I have no idea who these people are or what documentaries they are.
No offense to any of you.
No, it's just I haven't seen any of it, so it's kind of hard. We can guess. Walk, run, cha-cha. Sure, that will win.
Yeah, it sounds like a good fitness video.
St. Louis Superman. That sounds good.
So it's probably like some
guy dresses up as Superman in St. Louis and helps out children and kind of that's my snap judgment of probably what it is. I don't know if it is.
Well, I mean, I was going to say it was probably like a principal of a district or something, or a school. Like
Morgan Freeman and Lean on Me?
Yeah. That's what it sounds like to me.
Best live action short film. Oh, jeez. Brotherhood, Football Club, The Neighbor's Window.
Skip.
Yeah.
Skip. No one cares.
Best international feature film,
no one cares. Skip.
It'll be Parasite. Pain and Glory. It could be one of those.
Oh, it's a Pedro Almodovar movie. Oh, okay.
I don't know who that is.
Oh my God, Bryan, you're embarrassing all of us.
Sorry,
he's a really well-known director. He's done a ton of movies.
What's the other movies?
God damn it, read a book.
Book? I don't know. I haven't read a book.
Movie version. Read a book, the movie version.
I read...
Educate yourself. You're embarrassing yourself.
I read the short story of Shawshank Redemption, the Stephen King one, like last year. That was like the last thing I read.
Well, you have a small child, so you're forgiven. But
yeah, it is. I used to read a lot, and then at least a couple books a year.
Hey, Bryan, look, I feel like our energy is waning a little bit. Let's take some calls. Let's mix it up.
Hey,
some calls.
Why don't you guys talk about more Rush?
Oh, yeah, sure. What would you like to know?
Like, why do they suck?
Oh, hang up.
All right, next caller.
So disrespectful. We're mourning. We're still in mourning.
Yeah. I mean, so going back to that, though, with Rush, so when he stopped playing a couple years ago, did they find out who's drumming for him now?
Well, nobody. So Rush is the three of them. So,
but I thought I saw them playing, though, like recently.
Bryan, it's not Rush without the three of them. They would never, ever, ever play under the name of Rush as the three of them without the three of them.
All right.
That's like, I don't know, it's like the Beatles, it's like after John Lennon died, if the Beatles got back together and got some guy in the Levelers.
Why? They're good musicians.
No, they're not. Move on.
All right, fuck off. All right.
They're not a Beatle, okay?
Film editing. Here we go. The category we'd all been looking forward to. Ford versus Ferrari, The Irishman, Jojo Rabbit, Joker, and Parasite.
No one ever watches a movie and is like, wow, they really cut to the next scene really well.
Yeah, it's kind of like I could see it's the other way around. Like, whoa, it's like whoever put this together and nothing flows. That's the only thing. It's like if you don't notice the editing, that's a good job. It almost should be like bad editing.
Yeah, but okay, yes, you'll notice bad editing, but those movies would never make it to the Academy Awards, right?
Yeah.
So basically the nominees are just people who are just doing their jobs, right?
Yeah. But it's
sound editing, it's like, oh, okay, like nothing suddenly blared or sounded really horrible, but why, that would be very amateurish if it did.
It should almost be like sound design. Mix the two and just do sound design, because sometimes like Star Wars, like the special effects type movies where they create sounds out of like.
Then it should be sound effects.
But then it's like Michael Winslow is going to win it every year.
And that's what I'm hoping for. He does a great robot. Whoa, that sounded like Kraftwerk right there.
Yeah. Look out, Michael.
Well, the special effects category, visual effects. There we go. Okay.
That's at the bottom. You're skipping ahead here. People want to know about sound mixing and sound editing.
But I feel like if you have visual effects, you should have sound effects. The whole thing is a fucking rigged, man. This whole thing's stupid.
We bitch about this every year about sound mixing, and everyone's like, what's the difference? And it's always the same movies that win those two categories. Like, just merge the fucking thing.
Sound mixing, okay.
I will think it'll be 1917 is going to win.
No, it won't be. It'll be Ford versus Ferrari, because you've got these cars that are driving really, really fast, revving, they're braking, they're spinning.
You know how long it took me to mic up those cars?
Yeah, or you got Michael Winslow going.
Yeah.
Honk, honk.
Production design.
By the way, do they honk each other during like NASCAR races? That'd be hilarious, right?
Wait, what?
Like you never hear people honking each other in NASCAR races, but maybe they should.
Like, you just fucking cut me off, asshole.
Hey, that was my lane.
That's the whole point.
Maniac. You crazy maniac.
All right. Production design.
Oh, wait, why is Ad Astra sound like, does that movie take place in space? I mean, there's no sound in space.
Well, why is Star Wars nominated for sound editing? Oh, see, they kind of mixed it up this year, because this year there's some different movies that weren't nominated for sound editing, like Ad Astra and Star Wars.
Oh, you make a great point.
Yeah.
It's an actual excellent point, that you should not be hearing that pew, 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 pew out in space. But Chewbacca within a spaceship would still be making his sound, which I'm sure you could mimic. Do it.
What, Chewbacca?
Yeah. I knew you could do it. I love you, Bryan. I love you. We are now friends.
Sure. Let's see. Production design. Let's do that now. I think 1917 is going to win the sound stuff.
Sure.
It's a war movie, explosions and shit.
Hey, Jojo Rabbit's a war movie. It's just the next war movie. It's like World War I, Part 2.
Sure. All right. That's your choice. Irishman, Jojo Rabbit.
Do you think World War II is the first sequel?
So what's the prequel to World War I?
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's the fucking Spanish War of Independence. I don't know. But World War II, it's the first time that there was ever like a Roman numeral 2 after something. It's like the first sequel.
It's sure. I guess. I don't know. I think that's still too highbrow for me, I think.
Okay, let's move on.
Production design, Irishman. Jojo Rabbit, 1917. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Parasite. I think probably Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I think. Just probably how much they had to fix up Los Angeles.
The only thing I'm voting for is that they don't waste time during the Academy Awards to read this. This should be one of those commercial break ones.
Yeah. While you were taking a piss, the Irishman won for production design.
Good. Great.
Irishman filmed in my birth town of Suffern, New York. True story. A lot of movies are being filmed there lately. I don't know why. Because it still looks like from the 1950s, I guess.
Well, that's really sad. Okay, next.
Okay, here's my category. Original score, Joker, Little Women, Marriage Story, 1917, Star Wars. I love John Williams. It's good that he's like the most nominated person of all time, but he's only won like 7 or 8 times, I think. I would love for 1917 Thomas Newman to win, but I have a feeling Joker will win because it's a female composer, Hildur. I can't even pronounce her last name. She's from Iceland.
Are you racist against Icelanders?
No, I don't know how to fucking pronounce names.
I think you should respect the person and learn how to pronounce their name.
I can say her first name, Hildur.
Are you sure?
I think I that's like Hildur, Hodor. Her score was really like very eerie, and it kind of felt. It's not a score I would go back to listen to though. Separately, it fit the movie well, so I could see her winning or 1917. And then
so Marriage Story was Randy Newman.
I could do Randy Newman's voice too.
No one asked that. 1917 is Thomas Newman. Are they related?
Yes. I believe they're cousins. I think because there was Alfred Newman, who was the big composer from the old.
No, that's the guy from Mad Magazine, right?
No, that's Alfred E. Newman, and it's spelled differently. There was Alfred Newman, and then there was, and I think Thomas might be Alfred's son, and then Randy might be a cousin, because then there's David Newman, and then some other Newmans. It's like
during family reunions, they just get together and just like
compare notes of liner notes and, hey, you did that one? Oh, cool. Do you know this celloist?
Do you know this celloist? That's actually really funny. They just like hum cello lines.
And Randy Newman's like,
and they get really.
I just play the piano. All right, original song. I can't let you throw yourself away. Toy Story 4. Rocket Man. I didn't like that movie. I don't know. It was I kind of wanted it to not be like a slash musical in a way. Have you seen Rocket Man?
I haven't.
It was like the guy that played him he did a great job, but it kind of threw me off because he was singing just as him and not as like they didn't use Elton John's music. So it kind of like it was good that he can sing, but it kind of threw me off because like I want to hear Elton John sing in those songs. So I wish he kind of just lip synced.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it kind of had that. So it would be good if he was in a play and did Rocket Man, because at least he can sing and perform. Frozen 2, I bet you're rooting for that one.
I haven't seen it. To be honest,
Kristen and Connors.
It's what now?
Kristen and Connor saw it. I'm like, yeah, you guys can go without me. I don't like Indina Menzel. I don't like her. I think she's a little bit over the top. I don't like her singing style. So
okay, well, yeah, you're entitled to your opinion.
I know.
You could like or dislike whomever you want.
Because she was in Wicked, right? So it was like, and that one commercial they would play it at least every half hour, and it was just busting out his songs, and it was like, Jesus, tone it down, lady.
Don't tell a woman to shush, okay?
Well, when I hear it every half hour and it's loud at like 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm trying to watch like Today Show or something, and they keep playing like the Wicked commercial. I'm just ignoring the fact that you're calling me a sexist racist and just moving on.
And an anti-Semite.
Right, okay. Just add, yeah. So
hey, you called me a friend, okay?
Oh, sorry, I said the F word.
I did not agree to that.
Just because my name is German doesn't mean...
Oh, my name's German too.
Yeah.
Coozer. Coozer. It means one to coos.
And there's Kremko, Germany. So there's a little.
I thought that was Poland. Isn't that the capital of Poland?
No, there's a little village town, and I think it's like an hour and a half from like Berlin. And it's like this. Like it's like the size of like, I don't know, a Burger King store probably, but.
All right. Well, hopefully we bombed the shit out of it 50 years ago.
No, I still would like to go there. But anyway, moving on to makeup and hair. Bombshell, Joker, Judy, Maleficent, and 1917. I think it will probably be Judy or something. I think you just don't care. I think you just want this podcast over at this point. We're almost to the finish line. We got two more categories.
This podcast, it kind of feels like watching The Irishman. Like it starts off pretty interesting, and then it just, it's like, all right, you know what? I dedicated time to this. I'm going to get through it.
Well, we're gonna give some stickers to someone if they can get to the end of it. I'll send you some stickers of
they deserve more than stickers. Give them back their time, man. Like go to their house and do their laundry. Give them back their time.
I have enough laundry to do by myself, and I gotta fucking pay for it too. I got to go to the bank like twice a week. All right, can I have another $40 in quarters, please?
You got to give these poor people back their time. You got to, write their school essay. You got to do their spreadsheets for them. You got to do their laundry. Give them back their time.
Maybe
Bryan.
There's some cinephiles that like punk and ska music that like the site and want to hear us bitch and talk about movies. And that's
anyone who knows movies would listen to this and be like, "Oh my God. These people need to stop talking about movies."
Well, then they can have the option of turning it off. As long as they listen for a little bit, that's fine.
Okay.
I'll be happy.
And no disrespect to you, Bryan. I mean, you're doing an incredible job.
I started out doing a podcast like 2 years ago, and I feel like it's doing one or two a month. That's fine.
It was so brave of you. I mean, not everybody who has a laptop with a microphone can just record themselves talking.
Yeah.
That was so courageous. And you're really giving back.
I am. Yeah. And I used to have a college radio show. It's just another.
Relive your teens. That's awesome.
In a way, I like doing this more than our website these days. I mean, my website, because you haven't done shit for it. You kind of retired.
Yeah, it's like, why mess with perfection? I wrote a couple of good top 10 lists. I wrote an article or two.
That I still get hate mail for.
I've noticed that your most popular articles tend to be an Adam Coozer original. Not to brag, but I'm a genius. And that stands the test of time.
Well, there's a certain website out there that I won't name that does kind of satire, and we kind of did that like 10 years ago. And
Hard times?
I didn't say it. And they're
good. They're funny.
They are.
They actually have articles about Rush, whereas you refused to let me put anything about Rush on the site, and that's why I quit.
No, the last time I wrote something about Rush, I did it for your birthday, and it was all about just making fun of their covers. And then I gave them your email address to send the hate mail, and then it went on Google, and that's when the fun began, and everyone writing to you for your birthday of, why did you write this article?
Oh, right. That's when I had to change my email and phone number.
Yeah. Hey. Sorry about that.
All right. Are we, what do we got left here?
We got costume design and visual effects. So I will say costume design. I'm just going to prolong this and see how long we can go.
This is really a test of stamina here.
Hey, we're close. People got to earn those stickers, man.
Hey, for you listeners, this is not a race. This is a marathon.
I'm only going to give stickers to one person. The first person that writes me at Bryan at ReadJunk.com and says,
Can you up it a bit? Is there something better than stickers? Something better than
I have some vinyl that I don't have a record player. Yeah, I got the Agrolites new album if someone wants that.
Oh, that's great. Do you have a flat tire you could give somebody? Anything else that's totally useless?
Jeez. You can send hate mail to Adam at.
No.
All right. Listen, visual effects. Last one. Okay. You think Avengers, Irishman, 1917, Lion King, or Star Wars will win? This is a tough one because I think Avengers and Star Wars were pretty good at visual effects.
All of these movies made $1 bazillion. They should give me money. Fuck them. Whoever wins should give me money.
Is that your final answer?
Yes. Whoever wins should give me money.
Well, all right. I think we're down to the list now. Okay, so we're done.
All right, so what did we decide on? Like, were there any good movies this year?
Yeah, 1917. The Joker was a good movie. I really want to watch it again a few times. Or maybe it's like maybe one other time, but I don't know.
Right, take some Xanax, but okay.
Yeah, maybe like besides 1917, maybe The Irishman. The first half of it that I saw, I liked.
Watched 1/3 of The Irishman. Okay, so
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was okay enough, but I don't think it deserves all the nominations it's getting.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2019 was 1917, Joker, 1/3 of The Irishman, and maybe Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, kinda. Okay, you heard it from us.
I would have liked to have seen Knives Out nominated more. The Lighthouse should have been nominated for a few other awards. I'm trying to think of other movies, but I really can't.
Okay, so 2019 also had Dolomite Is My Name, which I thought was fantastic.
I haven't seen it, but
so much fun.
Yeah, I haven't seen it, but I love it. I
prepare for this conversation.
I just saw Zombieland Double Tap. That was pretty fun.
Oh yeah, big snub. Big snub.
They did do a single take in that. It was kind of an impressive fight scene that they had.
Well, good on them.
It Chapter 2.
What else? What else are you upset about? Detective Pikachu?
No, I didn't give a fuck about that. No, I saw Jay and Silent Bob reboot. That was a pile of shit.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Smith has really not done anything notable in 20 years.
It's good that he's alive. Yeah, it's good that he's alive. He's survived, but the movie wasn't good.
I love his Facebook posts. I'm very warm toward him. I feel like he and I would have a hilarious time just hanging out, maybe
cry over every movie
along the beach. But, he's, like, God bless him. God bless him.
Did you see The Dead Don't Die?
I did. Yeah.
I didn't.
I love Jim Jarmusch. But
it was kind of weird, though.
Stop.
What?
You've never seen another Jim Jarmusch movie, I'm sure.
No.
See? Yeah. You're not a film buff. You're not a film guy, Brian. You like movies. It depends though. I mean, I do like some smaller independent types. I thought it would have been funnier. The movie Brian,
I like Bill Murray and Adam Driver and their kind of dryness to all the zombie stuff and what was happening, but I thought it could have been better the way that they did it.
Because you don't know Jim Jarmusch. Like, that movie was hilarious in the sense that it was a Jim Jarmusch. It's like Jim Jarmusch trying to do this kind of movie, and that's why it's good. But you need that background.
It didn't go anywhere. All of a sudden, it just stops.
Yeah, it's Jim Jarmusch. Jim Jarmusch movies don't go anywhere. I like parts
of it. I just didn't like the whole entire movie.
And Jim Jarmusch was the original indie movie film director. I mean, there was no such thing as independent film before Jim Jarmusch, pretty much. Look, I respect you. Wait, no, let me rephrase. I like you, but but you're.
I don't know. We've only known each other for like 20-something years.
Anyway, I would say, so in terms of snubs, Dolomite Is My Name. I thought was awesome, great. It was like, and it's such a good return to form. Freddie Murphy, getting him back into things. He was so good. I loved it.
I can't wait to see if he does a stand-up, because he was talking about it. So we'll see if that happens.
I thought Midsummer was a really cool movie, very cool, dark indie movie, very unique, very kind of unique voice. Sort of like
some female directors got snubbed. Greta Gerwig, or whatever her name is, from Little.
You should know. Don't say whatever her name is. Learn people's names.
Greta Gerwig.
You only have problems with female people's names.
You've seen I've had problems with multiple people's names.
Detective Pikachu, great movie. You had Ryan Reynolds, the voice of Pikachu, which makes sense? Question mark? I don't know.
What movies are you looking forward to this year?
I don't know. Well, give me some examples.
I'm sure the Marvel movies coming out. Do you like any of the Marvel movies?
Nah, they're all crap.
I'm sure there's a new Transformers movie you like. You like those kind of movies?
You know it. There's so much more they can say about those movies.
Oh,
right?
Wonder Woman looked pretty good. The trailer for it, No Time to Die, James Bond. Top Gun sequel, Mulan.
Yes. No.
The new Christopher Nolan movie would look good. Tenet kind of looked confusing. No? Quiet Place?
I'm tired of getting a headache from Christopher Nolan movies. And I'm tired of these live-action Disney movies.
Yeah,
Stop making money off the same properties.
Yeah. Come up with the original shit. Quiet Place 2 looked pretty good. I like the first one.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it did. Onward, Pixar movie.
No.
Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, or the third one's coming out.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Okay. Jungle Cruise, Ghostbusters.
Pass.
Coming to America 2, the first one.
Oh.
The second one, yeah, that's coming out.
Coming to America, what I like about the movie is that it took place in Queens. And as all fans of Adam Coozer know, I am from Queens, New York. Thus my very strong Queens accent.
Yeah.
And I like all movies that take place in Queens.
West Side Story, does that take place in Queens?
That takes place in Washington Heights.
Okay. Well, that's coming out too. I guess Spielberg's doing that one.
Well, hence West Side Story, because on the west side.
Maybe it's West Side of Queens.
That's not a thing, Brian. That's not a thing. The west side of Queens is basically the west side of Long Island. Geographically, it's the same island.
It could be around Ridgewood, because I am on the west side of Ridgewood, and there's an east side, east of the train tracks.
Okay.
Ooh, there's a new Scooby-Doo movie coming out. That's got to be good.
Are we done?
Yeah, we're done. I think we exhausted all possibilities. Whoever made it to the end of this podcast, congratulations. You have won stickers if you email me and say the special word. We'll say Goldblum. Just mention Goldblum, and I'll send you a Goldblum.
The special word is Rush.
Russian Goldblum. Not the Russian Goldblums.
If people listened halfway and they heard the safe word as Bloom, then they would know that they're wrong. And if they ended there, then they're getting their stickers for naught, or they're cheating.
Okay.
Because now is when we're saying that the real safe word is Rush.
It's Rush. All
and
right, we'll go with that.
If there's any takeaway from this podcast,
is that Adam talks like an NPR host.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But also
this is
that
deep cuts with Adam.
Are you saying that I have a sleepy monotone?
You kind of have like a Todd Berry. Wow. My name's Adam Coozer. And I got a nasally voice too, so I don't know.
I don't have a face for radio. I just have a face to look at because I'm attractive. That's what I'm saying.
All right, we'll leave it on that down note. All right, buddy.
I love you, Bryan.
This was fun. Anyone who made it to the end, congratulations. We'll have some more new episodes.
I wasted my whole Saturday.
No, you didn't. It's raining and it's disgusting.
Oh shit. Okay. Oh my god.
I'm gonna go watch some movies. And
yeah. Watch some movie. Watch Taxi Driver. God damn you!
You're talking to me.
Driver.
All right.
That's not.
All right. We're ending this.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. Love you.
Bye.
Love you all. Listen to Rush. Bye.
Don't listen to Rush. All right.
Bye.